Hi there, Pisces. It's Wes with Aurawest Tarot, and today we're going to be doing your March 2022 monthly spread. Okay, this is a pretty comprehensive spread, and the way that I designed this is that it's going to essentially cover 5 situations that you need to know right now. And this does derive, well, I derived it from the what do you need to know right now from the all sign spread. I'm pretty much abandoning that video because it's just, there's a lot of issues with it. I'm not going to go to it right now, but what you need to know is that you'll get 5 different situations that are going to cover throughout the month of March. Okay, and it's gonna, the way that I designed the spread was a progressive spread. In other words, it starts from somewhere around the beginning of March and it progresses all the way to the end of it. Okay, so so far it's been pretty successful, but the downside is there is a lot of cards, a lot. Okay, these spreads are typically encompassing about 30 to 32, at least for your spread right now, it's about 35 cards. And I have drawn the cards ahead of time and reviewed the messages because, number one, it's going to take forever for me to shuffle that on camera and do the spread. And number two, to really understand the messages, it takes a bit of time. And instead of you just sitting there waiting on the other side there, I decided to just do it ahead of time and make it easy so we can just talk about it and get right to it. Okay? So I hope you enjoy this new format, and we will obviously get started in just a bit. I just also want to say, for those of you out there that don't resonate with this message, I mean, there's going to be plenty of other stories out there with other tarot readers. Obviously, if what I'm about to say here doesn't align with you, don't make it apply, please. Okay, it's not gonna, I can't possibly get every single person's story out there. Maybe I'll get it next time, I don't know. Okay, but overall, this does, I'm just going to let you know up front, this does seem to be a relationship scenario read. Okay, I believe Cancer's reading had a lot of, there was a lot about money and stuff like that in that particular reading, but Scorpio's reading was also about love, and your reading is definitely about love, a love situation of some sort. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so, Cancer, going into the month of March 2022, what I'm getting in my spread here is we have the King of Cups and it's going to the Six of Wands. This probably suggests to me that there may be somebody in your life that you are romantically interested in that you're trying to have a successful relationship with. Okay, this is somebody that you, I don't know, definitely find something alluring about this person. Once again, it could be a water sign, a mature water sign. Somebody that you find has some degree of emotional composure. Okay. Now, in the outcome here, it's showing it initially showed the Lovers, which was kind of exciting, and I thought maybe there was a lot of success there, but it's clarifying to the Hangman, suggesting that there is a perspective here that's taking place on almost uncertainty on whether or not you're going to have a connection with this person. Okay, now just keep in mind the initial story when I start talking about this is going to sound a little vague, but it's going to flesh out. Okay, and it's been like pretty consistent with all the reads, so that's good. Okay. So there seems to be some degree of uncertainty or just perhaps feeling stuck a little bit or uncertain, I guess, whether or not this connection with this person will actually advance forwards into something that could be lover material. Lovers can also talk about choices to some extent, so there may be somebody else in the picture as well that you're kind of vying for. So, but at the end of the day, it seems that you want a fulfilling connection, don't we all, to some extent? But that's what it's suggesting here. That's going to be a focus going into March. Okay, your advice here may be to start something new on your own. Okay, if you are already in a predicament where you don't really know if you're having much luck in a particular situation, and here's what's crazy here. You got the Six of Wands going to the King of Cups, and then you had for your advice from the universe was Six of Wands again. And it's going to Ace, the Fool. So that might suggest there to basically reinvest the energy into something brand new. Okay, the Fool does talk about brand new opportunities, new ventures, things like that. Okay, may not make sense to me. It may not make sense to you right now, but you'll see in a second here why the universe is suggesting that. Okay. Moving on into March, it seems that you come to a conclusion that something isn't working out. You're feeling left out in the cold. Ten of Pentacles is a great card. Unfortunately, it's probably indicating in this particular context that whoever this person is, you are not finding much success. As far as wanting a long-term connection with this person, it ain't working. You're feeling like you're left in the cold. It's bothering you. You might feel abandoned by this person, or it's just not going anywhere. Okay? Five of Pentacles is a loss. It's hard times. It's not something that's working out. Okay. The outcome is also very interesting because it suggests that if somebody was left in the cold, they might be a little bit pissed off. And that's exactly what's coming through in the outcome. Five of Wands suggesting there might be some fighting, arguments, and especially the Judgment card suggesting that there could be some name calling and judging. I mean, it's just in the name, judging. Okay, so I get a sense that it could be a degree of frustration of some sort, that you may be upset that maybe this person's not choosing you. It could also be that you're not getting what exactly you wanted, or you might have put a lot of time and energy into the situation, just finding that you're getting very little back in return. The advice from the universe at this point in time would be, at this point in obviously in March, would be the Emperor, which is to maintain emotional composure. It is a card that talks about law in the land, the direct opposite of the Five of Wands. So it's almost suggesting here, don't engage in fighting and arguments and name calling. It's not going to get you anywhere. Okay, be the bigger person, stand on your own 2 feet, guard your ground a little bit, and obviously, once again, put the law in the land. Be structured, composed, and somebody that obviously will move forward strong. And you've got the Six of Wands twice. And the universe is obviously aware that you have it within yourself to do that. Just saying. Okay. Now, coming around supposedly to about mid-March, we have what's very interesting. The Sun card, but it's going to the Three of Swords, indicating that a situation of some sort, which is probably this situation, whoever this person you might have been chasing after, or you're interested in, or maybe it's just options in general. I don't know. I almost said Cancer there. Well, that's Cancer card. So anyways, Pisces. Sorry about that. It might suggest here that you're just upset that this situation, whoever this person is, or maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was just your overall optimism towards trying to find a partner or something wasn't going well. Three of Swords is just it's painful. It's just pain, really. And it's something, I think it's a contrast to the Sun, because it's like you're almost, in one case, wanting to be happy and find that kind of fulfilling situation or person or something like that, and you haven't found it. And what's interesting is the Three of Swords is right next to the Five of Pentacles. I can even talk about breakups for some of you. Maybe it didn't work out with somebody that you're dating, okay, for a portion of you. So you might be a little bit upset about that. And the outcome for that particular situation is showing healing, withdrawal. Okay, Four of Swords comes right after the Three of Swords. I was almost like blown away when I saw that. Okay, once again, these are all shuffled. There's 3 different decks. I shuffled the hell out of these decks beforehand. Okay, so I'm pretty blown away how consistent that is. You have the Four of Swords, and it's going to the Ace of Swords, which can probably indicate here, Pisces, that there is almost a degree of clarity that's coming from the situation, that you're realizing you're learning something. And you're probably, during that time, maybe resting or kind of getting over things, or meditating, or kind of reflecting on things, whatever you want to, taking that time to yourself. It's a card of silence, that you're kind of, with the Ace of Swords here, taking the opportunity to really understand the situation better. What went wrong? Why did it happen like that? Reflection. Okay. Now, the advice from the universe is the Sun card, which can talk about, obviously, I already talked about happiness and all that kind of stuff, but it can also talk about clarity, just standing on your own 2 feet and stuff like that, but understanding a situation better. And the reason is because the Sun is bright. It's not the Moon card. It sheds light on things. So that does, almost to a degree, probably. And you know what's crazy? I kind of missed it initially, but fortunately I remembered this time, is that there was the Sun card going to the Three of Swords right here. And then for your advice from the Crow Tarot was the Sun. Isn't that crazy? I got some, honestly, doing this this read format has been, really wild, especially for Cancers and Scorpios reading so far. So I'm kind of excited about this read format. And I did spend a lot of time developing it, so it seems to be working. But yes, so it does talk about here, Pisces, that you need to, number one, just keep your head up high, be positive. Positivity always wins the race at the end of the day. But look, obviously maintain reflecting on the clarity on what you're finding out or what you're discovering about the situation, which it does seem that you do in this outcome around mid-March. Okay. Now, going past mid-March, we come into moving into a new cycle. You may be wanting and considering closing something out. There is a page here, so I don't know if there is somebody else that could be throwing some ideas around to you. Maybe it's a friend. Page energy is just basically, it's light energy to some extent, but it's optimistic and it's enthusiastic energy. It's Wands energy. So maybe it could be a fire sign of some sort. Probably trying to be optimistic with you. That could be a possibility. So maybe it's a different person that could be coming in the picture for some of you. It could also just be in general. I get a sense, to be honest, it could also potentially be just yourself throwing around ideas about your own success and maybe considering moving on to something different and closing the cycle out with the World card. Okay. The outcome here, interestingly enough, does kind of carry on from what's been going on here, and that is there's an air sign here, King of Swords energy, Eight of Cups, suggesting here you may be moving on from potentially an air sign of some sort. It is mature energy with the King of Swords there, but it's walking away from an emotionally unfulfilling situation. It doesn't have to be an air sign; it could be anyone, to be honest, any sign. But obviously, air sign. I'm going to read air sign. Your advice for this particular situation at this point in time is going to be assess wisely the judgment, make a firm, sound decision, and once again, you've had it throughout your spread here, Pisces, talking all about that. It's almost like a reflection period. Reflection. Seems to be predominant throughout the thing. It's like going through these trying situations that are kind of testing you, and the universe is kind of telling you to trust yourself, follow your intuition, find clarity in the situation. What do you need to know? Okay, stick with it. Don't doubt it. Okay. Now coming towards the end of March here, Pisces, we have the Knight of Swords, indicating that you're going to probably have some sleepless nights, a lot of stress, and based on everything I've seen here, I can see why. Obviously, and I'm sure you can figure that out too. If you've got all these trying energies going back and forth here about decisions, it's probably going to put you up in your head quite a bit, keep you up at night for some of you. Okay, I clarified heavily to it, and there was two things that came out, and the first one was the Ace of Pentacles, and that was going to the Two of Swords, indicating that there's a tough decision on your mind, and the reason that you're probably in this energy at this point of the month is because of the fact that you're trying to understand whether or not you should invest yourself into starting something completely brand new elsewhere. You're at a gridlock, and the reason why is because we have Queen of Swords here and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and that's straight up indicating, should I return back to a situation that didn't work out? Wheel of Fortune is kind of sometimes repeating past stuff, things that the universe wanted you to move on past from. It's not pushing you in the right forward in the right direction. It can also talk about things that you manifested to work out that didn't work out. The universe didn't allow it to work. It failed. It didn't work. It's not what you asked for. And so that would absolutely be something that's in your head while you're in your head, walking away. Why did that happen? Blah, blah, blah. Just stressed out about it. Why the fuck did that happen like that? But at the same time, maybe I should just move on. I don't know. So it does seem like that's kind of going to be a plaguing thing here. The advice, I'm just going to tell you before we get to the outcome here, is the Queen of Cups energy here. Okay, so for the advice, I'm going to read as energies, I'm not going to read as people. So it does suggest here that the best thing I can come up with is to practice emotional control. And the reason I was also thinking that was because of the Five of Wands and the Judgment that we had earlier. Perhaps you're kind of frustrated, and especially somebody that's probably in their mind, really stressed out and stuff, might have flaring and emotions running high. So it is suggesting here, maintain emotional composure. It's really important to see things clearly for what they are, not to see them worse than they are, and not to see them better than they are. Okay, the outcome here does suggest here consideration that I would suspect is consideration of you starting something brand new, going in a different direction, regaining control here with the Temperance. So although you will be in this situation here for a period of time towards the end of March, it does suggest here you will regain composure from that and consider starting something fresh. As for the other alternative, there is the Chariot in reverse, which I clarified with the Crow Tarot going to the World. Once again, you had World card showing up, and this is what also was kind of amazing, was that just before this was the World card with Page of Cups. I think you are, the Chariot in reverse does talk about barriers and obstacles and things like that to success. I think that you are going to, this is all just talking about basically starting something in a different direction, but at the same time, there's a part of you carrying a lot of like concerns about obstacles and barriers, probably from whatever happened here, that's coming into, going past March. And but it does suggest though that you are going to regain composure and things will go in a different direction. Okay, it's possible with the double World card there. It probably tells me that you are going to have some number one closure. Number two, there is going to be success in a situation. I don't exactly know what that is. All I know is there is a page here. Okay, so there is some new idea, something fresh that's going to come in for you. But it is going to come probably towards the end of March, unfortunately, okay? So I know a lot of you are like, oh, bummer. But hey, a lot of lessons to be learned and things that you're going through here. A lot of emotional tests and struggles here, but the bright side is you'll get through it. Things are going to move forwards into a brand new direction, and you're going to be bigger, better, and stronger because of it, okay? So that's what I got for you, Pisces. Once again, if it's not your story, don't make it apply. Obviously, you'll know if you're a person that's sitting at home, you don't have a single person in the world that you're dealing with, and this is not your story, is it? I honestly, I couldn't really... I was kind of considering to see if this had anything to do with finance. It's in some ways it could, but I honestly get a sense that this is something, once again, to do with relationships and stuff, so I'm just going to stick with my intuitive sense. But that's what I got for you, Pisces. Okay, take it or leave it. Not the end of the world. There's plenty of other readers that might have a different perspective on how your March is going to go for 2022. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.